The PlayStation Classic has become my favorite mini console of all time, and it wasn't always that way. When it first launched back in December, it was essentially just a doorstop. Sony failed big time, but with all the cool stuff, the hacking, adding games, the accessories, all the neat little things we could do with this thing, it has greatly improved what they failed with this device. You know, we have OTG support, where we could pop this into the back of the system, load our USB drive, be able to power it through this. That way we have access to both controller ports. We can use DualShock 4 controllers with the 8-bit DO adapter. Pretty awesome. We've covered all this stuff on the channel. You know, I love this thing so much I had to get a case for it. So we do have, you know, this is a generic case, but hey, it's got spots for controllers, the cords, the system. I'm really digging this thing. And not too long ago, we took a look at the True Blue Mini Crackhead Pack. No, this is not a pregnancy device. You do not pee on this. You plug this thing into your PlayStation Classic, mod-free. Just plug and play, and you get a bunch of games. So the previous video I did on that Crackhead Pack, such a strange name for these things, you know, it was quite popular. A lot of people were either for it or against it. And today I decided, you know what, we're going to take a look at this one. So I have no clue what games are included on this. We will check that out in a moment. But I do have an idea that they're going to be mostly fighting games. And I love fighting games on the PlayStation. So this might be pretty neat to take a look at. So this is the Fight Pack. 32 gigabytes, includes 58 games. Packaging's pretty much identical to the previous version that we looked at. Over 50 of your favorite PlayStation games. Exclusive to this pack. I get it. It's exclusive to this pack. Come on now. So there we go. Box fairly basic. You got the official logo there. These guys don't give a fuck. They're doing what they got to do. So this thing was about 20 bucks. They all go for around that price. They're available in a lot of places. You can get these on Amazon. I will put a link in the description to where I purchased this thing because I was just more curious. I wanted to see what the heck was going on with this thing. You know, we had a lot of questions with the previous version. A lot of people said they enjoy it. It works just fine. Yeah, we can go ahead and build our own image or, you know, set up and play whatever games we want. These things, you can't really do much other than just play the games that are included. You cannot edit this. You can't change the games out. You cannot add anything. These are safe to use, despite what a lot of people have said in the past. They don't add any kind of software to your system. All it has is like some kind of, it's kind of strange, but a copy protection. They don't want you to steal their drive and maybe resell it or something. I don't know, but they have where you cannot copy the contents of this onto another drive. It has a check to make sure it's this same exact drive with the contents on it. So there's that. If you do get one of these, you need to keep that in mind. You cannot edit, change, add, subtract. You can't do anything but play the included games. So this is a little drive, very, like I said in the previous, you know, video, very dollar store feel. There's, you know, it's not very high quality as far as the look or feel of it. Cheap little sticker on there to differentiate the version. This is the Fight Pack. My main complaint with these things is they are not low profile whatsoever. Like the drives I like to use, like this Samsung, is fairly low profile. This one, if you plug it into your PlayStation, it sits out quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? If you plug it into the back using the OTG cable, and I do have videos on this stuff if you want to take a look at how to get OTG support on your PlayStation Classic. It's very simple, takes a few minutes, but you can go ahead and have it plugged in the back. It's kind of hidden a little bit. So that's a little nicer, I would say, than having this plugged in the second player port, but that's how you use it. Either OTG, plug it into the second player port. Make sure your system's not powered on, and then everything's plugged in. Plug in your power, let the orange light come on, and then power your system up, and it will boot into the games included on this. If you leave it plugged in, you're good. Every time you turn it on, it will boot to those games. But if you unplug anything, you do have to cycle that, where you plug this in first, then plug in your power, and then boot up. So let's go ahead and pop this thing into the system, boot it up, and see what we're in store for. Let's check it out. Okay, so we've got the True Blue Fight Pack plugged in, booted up. The one thing I forgot to mention when we were looking at the contents of the box, it does come with the USB hub like the other versions do. That allows you to plug it in and put your, True Blue in there and a second player controller. It's fairly cheap. It feels like it weighs an ounce. It works though. So, I mean, it is what it is. Some people will use it, some people won't. You got OTG support. You don't really need to have that added onto it. Everything just looks a lot better when you have that cable and USB drive coming out the back and two controllers plugged into the front like it was meant to be. Looks a lot better. So let's take a look at what games are included on this thing. 58 fighting games, it seems. Maybe some others. We'll have to take a look. But Battle Arena Toshinden 1, 2, and 3, Biofreaks, Bloody Roar 2, Bushido Blade, and 2. I do really dig that game. A lot of fun. Criticom, Darkstalkers 3, Dead or Alive, Destrega, Digimon Rumble Arena. Is that even a fighting game? Maybe it is. I don't know. Dragon Ball Z, Ultimate Battle 22. Man, no Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. That one was the one I really liked on the PlayStation. Fatal Fury, Guilty Gear Gundam, Gundam 2, JoJo, K1 Grand Prix. I was like thrown off for a second. I was like, wait, is this a racing game? And then I looked at the cover and it's a kickboxing game. Okay, I'm not familiar with that series. Looks like we have a few of them. King of Fighters, Knockout Kings, 99, 2000, 2001. And then the really sweet stuff, Marvel Superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 4, MK Trilogy, such an awesome game. I played that on the Nintendo 64. A lot of fun. Pocket Fighter, cool game, really cool. Primal Rage, Psychic Force, Ready to Rumble Boxing, love that. You get both of them. I played that on Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast, really loved it on Dreamcast. Rock'em Sock'em Robots, Samurai Showdown Warriors Rage, and 3. Don't really care for Samurai Showdown 3, but whatever. Soul Blade, Alpha, Street Fighter Alpha, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, so nice. Street Fighter EX2 Plus, EX Plus Alpha, love those games, a lot of fun. Tekken 1, 2, and 3. Thrill Kill, they got Thrill Kill up on here, unreleased game, kind of fun. Turned into, what was it, the Wu-Tang game. Very interesting. UFC, War Gods, X-Men Children of the Atom, X-Men Mutant Academy 1 and 2, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, love that as well. Zero Divide, not a very good game, in my opinion. And then back to Battle Arena Toshinden. So before we jump into a couple games here, I do want to say we've covered a lot with the PlayStation Classic. And yes, my preference is doing my own build or building off of somebody else's build who's put something out, because with this, we can't edit anything. You're stuck with what you got. Some people are fine with that. I know, I heard everything. Some people are like, I don't have the ROMs. I don't have the files. I don't want to search for this stuff. It's a lot crazier nowadays. I'd rather just buy something, plug and play. More power to you. You know, the previous version, I talked about some things I wasn't sure of, like changing discs and things like that. And a lot of people said, no, it works just fine. So there is that. I never got to test that because I wasn't about to spend hours jumping into those games. And the games that people told me you could switch discs like real quick weren't even on the build, so I couldn't test that. But with this, there's not any multi-disc games, so nothing to worry about on that end anyway. But yeah, that's what my preference is, building my own, because with this, you're not getting the Evolution UI, you're not getting themes to change. Some people won't care. It's just about the games. So if you want to buy something like this, that's on you. I really don't care. Doesn't bother me none. It's an option. It's an option that's going to work for some people. For me, yeah, it works. But I want a lot of these games plus some other games. I want to mix and match. Not everything on this build is something that I want to play. But for some people, it could be a suitable, option, I guess. But let's check out Guilty Gear. I'm pretty sure most of these games are going to work just fine. I haven't heard of any real issues. But let's take a look at this real quick. Check out a couple games before we go. Just see how they work. But let me see here. Screw it. Milia Rage. Love this game back in the day. There's a lot of cool games on here. I'm not complaining. For $20, I mean, I get it. I do. I get it. It's your money. Do what you want. Oh, we gave her a tan by hitting, I think, the X button, right? Boom. Such a fluid game. This thing, man, like I said, the PlayStation Classic, just, it's really become one of my, it is my favorite classic, you know, mini edition console. You know, my favorite system of all time would probably be the Super Nintendo, maybe the, you know, definitely the Super Nintendo. I was going to say, or the NES, but the Super Nintendo just so much. But the PlayStation kind of, you know, it carried on the things that I remembered from the Super Nintendo, all the Squaresoft games, that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of cool fighting games. There was a lot of games on the PlayStation 1 that I have tons of nostalgia for, and they hold up to today. It is a system that has a lot of games that haven't aged well, but a good majority of the library of games that I want to play on the system have, you know, I think they've aged very well, like the fighting games, some of the role-playing games, that kind of stuff. Can't really complain. So really do dig the PlayStation. And this thing, I mean, I'm being honest, I have legit consoles for everything, for all the little classic mini systems that I've talked about on this channel. And I typically will play those systems instead of the minis. The PlayStation Classic is the only mini console I've actually played quite a bit of instead of plugging in my PlayStation 1. That's crazy, man. But let's go ahead and get out of this game. They do have the shortcut where you can hit select and triangle, and it exits out, lets you decide if you want to save your resume point. So there is that. Let's take a look at something else. What might be interesting? We've taken a look at a lot of these games in the past on, you know, emulation on the Raspberry Pi, that kind of stuff. Check out Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha. I do love this game. Had it back in the day when it came out, and the second one. Yeah, it's you know, it's different than 2D Street Fighter, but it was still a lot of fun. Really dug it. Come on, let's get into it. Press start button, then hit the X button. Gotcha. Messing things up here. Loading's not too bad, you know. You're not loading off of the original disc, so there's still a little bit of loading time, but it's not too crazy. So let's check this out. Very clean looking. You know, the one thing with, if you do your own build, if you do your own hack, you do get the high res stuff. You know, tweaking the emulator settings, that kind of thing. With this, it's gonna play exactly the way Sony had it set up. So you can't do any of that stuff, the filtering, or, you know, sharpen the graphics, the high res things and all that stuff. So that's a negative for some. For me, I don't really use those things on my builds, so it's not that big a deal. But for some people, they do like having those options. So there is that. So there we go. Pretty fun game. Now, I mean, this drive, I'm not gonna use it. I just wanted to share this with you guys. But if you are interested, I will have a link in the description if you want to grab one, you know, any of the different packs they have made. But if you follow me on Twitter, in the next couple days, I will be posting a giveaway for this device. You know, like I said, I'm not going to use it. Might as well give it to somebody who might use it. So follow me on Twitter. I will make an announcement on how to enter. It'll just be like a Gleam.io thing, where you just click the link and then just put that you entered by, you know, whatever criteria will be on there. Most likely it'll just be like, hey, you visited this video, you'll get so many entries. You followed me on Twitter, that kind of thing. I've used those in the past for giveaways. So pretty sure we'll use that again. So stay tuned next few days for that. But hey, I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, looking at this True Blue pregnancy test that has fighting games on it. Hells yes, right? Oh my God, I'm getting my ass whooped because I'm playing while I'm talking and looking at my recording. Whatever. Really do appreciate you guys. With that said, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out. Bye-bye. And boom. Bye.